Dusty here with my retrospective of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So yeah, looks like you guys liked my retrospective of Star Fox Zero that I did recently, and if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check it out if you want to know what Star Fox Zero is all about and what I thought of it. But yeah, this is just kind of going to be my experience playing this game and kind of the synopsis of the game, and if I think you guys should go out and play it. So, to get started with that, yes, you guys should go out and play this. I'm going to say, no matter what I say negative about this game, it is fantastic, and you guys should go out and play it. Alright? It's one you gotta try, because, I mean, it's going to be a game that not everybody particularly enjoys. I do understand that. But if you like story-driven games, which the game is completely driven by the story, you've got to play this game. Alright? So this game is about a rookie defense attorney, and you're basically finding contradictions in witnesses' testimonies in the courtroom and gathering evidence in the investigative segments of the game. That's really all I'm going to give out of the story, because I don't want to spoil any of it for you guys. This story is what makes this game the legendary game that it is. Alright, so yeah, so let's talk about some of the gameplay aspects. You've got two major ones: your courtroom cases and your investigations. So let's talk about the investigations first, even though you run into those. You don't even run into them in the first turnabout. You go into the second turnabout. And I should say, too, that this game is actually split into 5 different cases. So there's basically 5 different mini-stories that put together a big, big story. So, to get started, you've got your investigative sequences, which is basically a point-and-click style game. You go around a kind of predetermined locations, talk to predetermined people, and find predetermined evidence that works for your predetermined court case. And it works as evidence, in essence. So, yeah. It's basically, it's kind of a point-and-click style game. It's pretty fun. There is a little bit of a gripe that I do have. The map system's not incredibly intuitive. Basically, instead of going backwards, forwards, left, and right, you're given 4 different locations that you can go to on the bottom screen of your DS, and you have to choose one of those locations. Now, the problem with this is sometimes you can get lost. You forget, oh, where was the studio B? Oh yeah, I have to go from, let's just say you're at the law office, you've got to go to, go from the law office to the movie studio, from the movie studio to, the studio entrances, and from the studio entrances to Studio B. So yeah, it can be a little convoluted at times with the map, and it can get a little bit more convoluted than that. But yeah, usually at the end of the turnabout, you've memorized all the locations of all the things, so you can, all the places, so you can figure it out. But yeah, in this game, the investigative sequences are kind of not as fun to me as the court cases. And that's kind of like the general consensus feeling, is the court cases are what really carries this game. Now, the court cases are, you've done the investigative sequence. That's kind of like the homework that you bring to the court case and present your case with. Well, specifically, you don't actually present your case. You basically, the prosecution has witnesses come in, and those witnesses tell incriminating cases, basically try to incriminate your evidence, or your client, alright? Because you're a defense attorney, you're defending a client. So, they're trying to, basically, they witnessed what happened. They saw what happened. And they're saying that the person you got, your defense attorney for, that's the person who did it. Now, what you have to do is you need to find contradictions in that testimony to items you received in the investigation and things that you've learned in the courtroom. So, it's really, really heated gameplay. Really, really, really spectacular. Really story-driven. Like, these contradictions all have to do with the story. Everything ties in so well to the story that all the gameplay ties into the story. So, you don't feel like the story is ever being set by the wayside. So, if you really like, story-driven games, this is a freaking story-driven game right here. Now let's talk about the other thing that drives this game for me. The music. The music is freaking phenomenal. I mean, and the thing is, I feel like you could have put any other soundtrack with Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, and it wouldn't have sounded right. I'm going to kind of talk about that later in my Ace Attorney Justice for All retrospective when I do that. But yeah, the soundtrack to this game is freaking phenomenal. All right, like you've probably heard all the songs if you know the internet memes and objection and things like that. And yes, you do get to yell objection frequently. That is not false advertised. You do get to yell objection and point at people at a regular basis. So if you're into that, this is the game for you. But the music is just, everything fits so well and everything's so well composed. And this is Game Boy music. Well, Game Boy Advance SP music. All right? Like, I don't think they really did too much to the music at all. It is freaking phenomenal. And this is a soundtrack that I'd probably just download and listen to. Honestly, it is so freaking good. But yeah, music is just, it drives this game. And it kind of gives you cues on what's going on in the court case. Everything, like, ties together so well. The court case, the story, and the music. So, like, when you find a big contradiction, this freaking epic music will pop in. Or it's like, yeah, I found a contradiction, and I got you, kind of music style thing. And it sounds so cheesy and corny the way I'm putting it, but you just have to experience it for yourself. So, altogether, I have to say, go and play this game. Alright? It has very few faults and so much good to offer. The controls, other than the controls being a little bit dated, and the occasional kind of miswriting step, like for instance, there are some situations where you could probably tell something from some other thing of evidence, but if you present that piece of evidence to contradict the testimony, it won't work. You have to use a specific piece of evidence that the game wants you to use. So I did have to find myself like once or twice going to a FAQ because, those are just kind of confusing things. But yet again, most people didn't experience that kind of thing. And maybe it's because I was just looking at the game wrong. All right, I'm fully saying that might be the case, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you play this game, if you see any like weird contradictions in the story to the testimonies and to that other stuff. But yeah, you gotta play this game. You gotta try it. Now, replayability of this game. I do want to talk about replayability. There really isn't too much. This game is probably going to sit on my shelf for years. Alright, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys because once again, it's the story that drives the game. And I probably won't want to play this game again until I forget the story, which will probably happen in a year or two, so I'll want to replay it. And if you know what to do, it's kind of like a point-and-click adventure game. If you know what to do, you just, go through the motions, point and click, point and click, point and click. Yep, that's what happens. But, if you don't know the story can really drive the game. And that's what Phoenix Wright does. So altogether, I would say go out and at least really, you gotta try this. Alright, you can download, I think, the first episode of this from the App Store for free. You can buy it on the 3DS eShop. You can buy a 3-pack that comes with the first, second, and third game for $30, I believe, on the eShop. Or you can get the, if you're in Japan, you can get the trilogy game physically, I believe, in Japan. But yeah, altogether, or you can, get the Game Boy version from Japan, or you could, actually get the American version. Now, the thing about this game that might be a prohibitive measure, which is why I would definitely recommend emulating this first, is the price. It's like a $20 game, alright? Now, most people won't want to buy a $20 game on my recommendation, say, yeah, Dusty really was heated about this game, and then you don't end up liking it. I don't want that to happen to any of you guys, so I would highly recommend going out and, emulating this game first. Play the first episode or two, and that's actually what I did before I bought the game. So, I did that a long, long, long time ago, and, I ended up really freaking wanting it, and, yeah, I said wanting it, and, I ended up getting it. So, yeah, that's really all I have to say. Stay tuned to my channel, though, yeah, now I'm self-advertising, you gotta do that. I'm gonna be doing a retrospective of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time very, 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 very soon. Ocarina of Time 3D, that is. And then very, very, very soon, probably after that, I'm going to be doing a retrospective of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All, because I'm about to beat this game. So yeah, you should be seeing a couple retrospectives in the near future. But this has been Dusty. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time. Play this game. Seriously, do it. I'll see you guys later.